Morning, Earthlings. So I have a weekend horoscope that I'm about to do. This will be for today and tomorrow, January 23rd and 24th. We have the moon transiting Gemini all weekend. So the moon transiting Gemini means emotionally, like we could be really chatty, really interested in connecting with other people, really interesting and get like digging into something that we find fun, or doing research. Or it can also be Gemini is like funny, witty, sarcastic. There's like a potential for connectedness. The moon is also making really nice connections all weekend long. It'll be trining the sun, Saturn, Jupiter, and then Mercury. So emotionally, we might be wanting to like connect with people. You know, it's also making or it made earlier an aspect to Chiron, which is like our insecurities and stuff like that. So we might be connecting with people emotionally. Like I almost see it like this, like a connecting over a what the fuck energy. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you too. What the fuck? And that's always nice, right? Mars is coming off of the square with Jupiter, so squares are a little bit tougher. Mars is in Taurus and Jupiter is in Aquarius, so there's still the potential for you know, anger, showing off, stuff like that. I kind of mentioned yesterday, but that's moving away a little bit. One thing that we're going to have going on, it's building up now, but it'll happen overnight tomorrow. The sun is going to conjunct Saturn. The sun conjunct Saturn is like, the sun is your soul and Saturn is hard work and discipline. I mean, just to bring it down to like the, you know, minimal explanation. But, and the sun doesn't, like, this says nothing about Aquarius. Like, I think Aquarians are cool as shit, but like the sun as a planet in astrology, it's not its favorite place to be, right? Because the sun's home is in Leo, which is directly across from Aquarius. So when it's in Aquarius, it's considered in its fall, you know. But so the sun in Aquarius like feels a little uncomfortable unless unless you are an Aquarius and you're used to that like Lulu, like otherworldly sense that Aquarius has about it, right? But anyway, Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, so Saturn is at home. So especially tomorrow, but building up today, I know it's a weekend, but it's a really good weekend to be disciplined, okay? Because that's what Saturn appreciates. So it would be a good time to like get your otherworldly life in order. The week is regimented, but do you have a list of goals for like personal achievements? Do you have things that you need to accomplish, like a project? Actually, that would go Gemini. With the moon in Gemini, like projects are really good too, because Gemini is like, there's like the moon there makes us feel pretty like active. It can, if we're inactive, that can translate to like mental activity, right? So like anxiety and stuff like that. But if we diffuse that energy physically into a project, you make Saturn happy, you know, if you make it something supportive of like your being, your soul, you make the sun happy, and you keep the moon happy by like, you know, giving an outlet for um that pent up like emotional mental activity. uh yeah, and then you know, Jupiter and Mars, like I said, that square, Mars is moving away from it. So there shouldn't necessarily be as much tension in that area. Um, Yesterday, I think I was like, you might want to keep to yourself, like dig within. I feel like this is a good time for connection, especially connecting with others about things that confuse us, right? Things that we have like that we don't understand or we're trying to process. I'm gonna pull some cards. This deck is really goofy. I never know if it's gonna make any fucking sense, but I'll pull this out and then I'll grab like a couple tarot. Avoid obstacles. You can see that. It says avoid obstacles, and it's a black cat. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you like I said, I feel like it's more of a time for connecting, as opposed to arguing or anything like that. Avoid obstacles, prepare for the future. Sun conjunct Saturn, like get shit done. Have you been putting stuff off? Like do that, you know, especially if it's like, you know, every weekend you're like, oh, I got to do this, or I really should do this. And like you just put it off and put it off. It might be a good weekend to actually go ahead and do it. I need a different desk because I'm always dropping cards. Requires stillness. Maybe you don't know exactly what you need to do, right? Um, be still. What comes in, you know, what comes in that needs to be accomplished, like um, meditate or pray or just be quiet and do. Sometimes it's easier to, I have a lot of people who ask me about meditation, and sometimes meditation I think is built up into this big thing, um, that seems like, oh, I can't do that, you know. So I I always say just sit there. And even if you're thinking like, well, what are you thinking about? Maybe you're thinking about it because you need to get it done, or you know, you need to address it in some sort of way. So be still. It doesn't say be quiet, it says be still. um Tarot. That says sun conjunct Saturn can feel pretty intense because the Saturn for sure has more power right now. It's got all the mojo. And the sun is our soul, you know what I mean? So we might feel like not you know, it doesn't feel to me like held back, but um we might just feel like there are things that we have to do, right? And the way to feel better is to do them, you know. um and the moon in Gemini is not like super over emotional. I'm gonna pull a clarifier on this. I got the sun, which is kind of funny because that's what we're talking about. Yeah, I mean the sun is optimistic. um you know, sometimes when you throw your hands up and you're like, well, I just got to do it. The Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is about not, okay, ready, is about celebrating our accomplishments, okay? But it's the 6 of Wands. It's not the 10. Like, you're not done. You're just celebrating or acknowledging that you've accomplished something along the way, right? So what this feels like to me is that the do something that you need to get done, right? Because it'll make you feel good. The outlook is pretty good. It'll make the sun feel a sense of accomplishment. um yeah, celebrate little steps along the way. It doesn't even have to be a big thing. Maybe you're putting off something because it feels huge. Can you do like a part of it, right? um yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be a day here on Earth. Peace. Namaste.